Hey, what is going on, everybody? Boilon here, and welcome back to another video on Lord of the Rings Home. Today, we're going to be doing a bit of a mix video. We're here to talk about some of the stuff that I'm doing right now in the game on the back of my last video. A lot of people have been asking me sort of what my day-to-day is now, knowing what we know about Arwen coming up, Elrond in the future, and probably Elladan after Arwen as well, and sort of what my shard farming is, my gearing priority, and those kind of things that I'm doing right now. So I'm going to go over some of this. And I also want to talk a little bit more about Arena and why I still think that, you know, it's an important, I mean, really, it's like the only game mode that we have outside of campaigns, and it is important, but I do want to talk about why I think that more people are concerned right now about the short-term gains of Arena and not really looking into the long-term. And a lot of this has to do with resource management and the kind of stuff that I would typically cover on this channel, so hopefully we can get to that as well. So if you're ready to go, everybody, then let's boil this down. And I just want to start here in the roster page and kind of go over what I'm doing in my day-to-day for my energy spending and my shard farming. And so it probably comes to no surprise, because I mentioned this the other day. I am farming Lomian, Leliel, and Elro here. I am not farming Naramiri at this time. Does have a heart there just to remind me that I need to do this, but I do have them unlocked when they were on the nodes, because I was farming them that way, and unfortunately can't do that anymore. But they're in the guild campaign chapter 2, so if you're not quite at chapter 3 yet to unlock Elro here, then make sure that you're farming the Naramiri node, because that's going to be really important as well. I'm just a little bit past that, because I'm actually gone backwards from chapter 4 to chapter 3 for Elro here, so I am taking on a little bit less resources for my guild energy than I was before. So we have Elro here. In one day, I have managed to pick up 60 Elro here shards, including today. So yesterday's farm and today's farm, I've managed to get 60 shards of Elro here. Pretty impressive. That being said, as a caveat, you know, I did buy a level 40 gem pack a couple of weeks ago, and so I do usually about 2 guild energy refreshes per day. So keep that in mind. That's what I've been doing. So 2 from yesterday, 2 from today, because I didn't use... I'm not sure if I'd used it yesterday or not, but nonetheless. Anyways, I managed to get about 60 shards. So at the current rate, it seems almost that I would be able to get a 5-star Elro here in like a week. At this rate, it seems. Now, that's the power of guild campaign farming. It is pretty easy. Like, it goes really quickly. For those of you who have unlocked and farmed Ironhide Troll, then you would know that that can go really fast. That it doesn't... If you put the energy into just one character in one node, you can get them unlocked at a super fast pace, comparably to the regular nodes that you can only farm in hard mode. So take the 60 shards from Elro here and compare this and contrast this with my Lomian and Leliel. You know, it's not as hot, right? So Leliel is a 1-star unlock. So I have like 31 shards here for Leliel and 40 shards for Lomian. Need 5 more for the 2-star. These are the characters that I'm going to be using for Elrond. So Lomian, Leliel, Naramiri, Elro here, and Arwen. And the reason why Elladan's not on that list, even though he's part of that Rivendell team, is because I think that you're gonna, unless you're a Kraken, a whale or Kraken, you're going to want to consider only one of the marquee characters, not both, because they're both going to be pretty hard to farm to 5-star, and I'd rather, even though I know that I'm probably not using most of these characters with the Rivendell team, I at least want to get them to 5-star for the Elrond unlock, and it should be a little bit easier from a paid perspective, less spent, or you know, even free to play accessible if you're able to get these characters up to 5-star as well. Now Leliel, I think, is going to be it's going to be a lot harder, even for myself. Not to mention because for other players who maybe aren't there yet, she was pushed back to Shadows 3-9 from her position. Oh, I know I just did a video ago, but it was like light 2-9. I don't know, whatever it was before. It's quite a bit different, and the Shadows campaign is a fair bit harder. So this node is going to be tougher for some people to get to and then start farming. Yeah, nothing I can say about that, but you're going to have to do that every single day. And that's weird. Did my game just... I don't know what just happened. Anyways, this happens sometimes. I'm on BlueStacks, of course. So I want to show you guys this. Now, it's a very bad chart. Literally, I just did this for myself. It's not really designed for other people. It's called My Lord of the Rings Character Shard Farm Table. And so basically what I've been doing, every time I put energy in, I've been tracking my outcomes, like what I get. So I spent a total of 800 energy in the guild campaign to get these 60 shards of Elro here. The one shard that I had was from a random chest from before. And as a result of that, it turns out that my average percent hit is 38%. What does that mean? It means that like 38% of the time, I'm actually getting shards back for Elro here. So that's kind of the important thing to note, is that, you know, 2 out of every 5 hits almost, you know, so 20 energy out of every 50 energy, I'm getting shards back. So the reason why I'm kind of calculating this kind of stuff is because I'm just curious what the percent odds are in actually getting shards. And so that's what I am kind of tracking here. Very low results here for Leliel and Lomian so far, because this is just from today on Leliel, which is just one. I haven't been tracking this on other characters really, but I got 4 shards today on Leliel, and then I did 1 run of Lomian yesterday, and then 1 run of Lomian today, and I've gotten 10 shards out of 10 hits, so 120 energy spent, or 2 days, and that's about a 50% yield. So that's interesting. Obviously, early data. I'm just tracking this because I want to know, is this different from Marvel Strike Force? So usually in Marvel Strike Force, you would probably, on nodes, you would get about 3 shards daily. That's probably the average amount, maybe 2.5, 3 shards daily, so that you would get maybe like 1.5 to 2 hits. I know you can't get a half a hit on a node, but like that's what it would even out to be. And so I'm wondering if it's anything close to that, if the numbers are like that. We don't know. Let me know if you're from Star Wars Galaxy Heroes, because I haven't played that much. Like, what kind of expectations you had for nodes in Star Wars Galaxy Heroes, and whether or not this looks anywhere something similar, or what I've been talking about with Marvel Strike Force. So they could be using similar numbers in terms of their algorithm for shard drops, or it could be completely different. I don't know, you know, but this is the reason why I'm just tracking this for my own sanity, I guess, and see what kind of numbers appear. You know, RNG is RNG, so some days you'll get lucky, some days you won't, and that's just the part of it. But I think there's an average number somewhere here that maybe you would get like about 4 shards. I think 3 or 4 shards, you know, is your daily expectation, I think, for nodes. That's what I would assume. Now the question is, do the guild nodes have the same drop chance, or are they different? Some people told me that they had really good luck on their Ironhide node. Does it vary between different nodes, whether it's Ironhide, whether it's Elro here, whether it's Naramiri? That part I don't know, you know, and I'm going to track this when I start to transition to Naramiri. So once Elro here gets the 5-star, I'm going to like post this data and just show people how much energy it cost me to basically get Elro here to 5-star, and then I'm going to transition to Naramiri, do the exact same thing, and see whether or not the data correlates at all, and whether or not there's any differences in that. So, you know me, guys, if you followed me from Marvel Strike Force, I'm a bit of a numbers guy. You know, I like to kind of know these things. Does it mean anything? It might. You know, it might give you at least an expectation of sort of what you will need to spend in order to get to a certain amount, whether that's energy spent, money spent, whatever. Normally, I don't cover sort of whale numbers and things like that. I'm planning on playing this game a little bit differently than I do on Marvel Strike Force. I actually don't mind dropping a little bit of cash here. It's not going to be a lot, but you know, I may, as I'm running low on gems, I might buy another gem pack in a couple of days, you know, to do these kind of gem refreshes. And so I'm not advocating for spending in any means, and I think that you can do so without it. But I think right now the best thing that you can do is probably buy gems. I think those shard offers are pretty horrific, and for the same price, I'd rather just buy some gem packs, which will then give me more refreshes for my energy, which gives me more resources, more ability material in the guild campaign, so on and so forth, gold, whatever. So a lot of good uses for gems. And actually, in that same token, at the same time, I don't think any of these are really worth it. I actually didn't even check the XP one. There's a lot of different tabs here. Why are there 5 different columns that you get? I don't guarantees one of you. Oh, it does. Okay. But I mean, the numbers don't look very high. They actually look pretty bad. So this is probably not worth it. I think we talked about the gold one a little bit, and it's better just to refresh your guild energy, so that way you can get some gold out of the guild campaign there, which you get quite a bit of. So, yeah, that's my plans. The second part of this video, I want to talk about the arena and what I'm doing right now outside of farming for the elves. And as I go up my account levels, I'm not planning on investing further into these characters as it sits right now for gear. I'm saving my light crystals. Maybe I'll put a little bit more into Ironhide with my shadow crystals, but for my light crystals, I'm not going to be gearing up any of these other characters anymore. I'm going to be saving all of my light crystals for at least Arwen and Elladan, and we'll see from there. And Elro here, of course. You know, like the main Rivendell elves. I'm not sold on Lomian. I don't know if I need him. I might just say, you know, F it, and just do the 3 Rivendell plus Elrond if I happen to get him unlocked. I'm not sold on Lomian's usefulness. You know, like, in terms of arena, I feel like I could just throw Ironhide Troll in there, and his AoE damage is just gonna, you know, do a lot more than what Lomian could, even with the synergy. So, who knows? That's my plans right now. So I'll still level them up. I'll probably still put the one level into each of them as I level up, and that's what I've been doing right now. But beyond that, I don't think I'm going to gear them. And I actually put a pause on my Shadow team right now. I have Ugluk at 43, but the rest of my orcs are at 40, just because I can no longer sustain leveling 10 characters every account level. Because if you saw from my other videos, like, it's expensive. The amount of gold cost, that's just one character to go from 40 to 47. I can only do 2 of these. And I need to save this XP for when the elves come out. So that's the part of the problem. I do have a surplus of gold. I say that it's not really a surplus because I'm going to end up using this for gear and ability upgrades for the elves when they come out. But yeah, I'm saving a lot of my resources to pivot to the elves when they become more available, when their events come out, and when I have the crystals to upgrade them. I can't stress enough how expensive it is. You know, let's just take Pippin. Pippin's G5, but just let one character from G5 to G6, and how many light crystals that you actually need to do this. So this is about 4 here. So a tier 4 item requires 4 crystals. Then the unique, tier 5 unique, this is 8 crystals right here, so that's 12. This one's another 2, so that's 20 crystals. This was 24 crystals, 32 crystals, and 40 crystals. So just to get Pippin from G5 to G6 requires 40 light crystals. And I don't know why this is happening again. That's super annoying. So I have 30. I don't even have enough to get one character to G5 to G6. You probably G4 to G5 for sure, but not G5 to G6. So what does that mean? That means for a G4 to G6 upgrade, I probably need somewhere around 50 light crystals per character, which means that if I want to get Arwen, Elro here, and Elladan up to G6, which is where the rest of my light characters are right now, then I'm going to need about 150 light crystals. I have a lot of saving and grinding to go, and not to mention all the other gear pieces, the essences, the other blue pieces, which I'm not 100% sure what they need at this point, other than Elro here, who is out right now. So there's a lot of saving that I'm going to be doing over the next week. Are you going to be doing that? Well, I'm not saying that you have to do this. I'm just telling people what I'm doing because a lot of people were asking that. And so just to go back, and I forgot to mention this. So outside of my shard farming, what am I doing with the rest of my energy? I'm actually I'm not shard farming, sorry. I'm farming light crystals. I think I just made that clear right now. But the drop rates are not super good. I wonder if I should start tracking this data, because I don't know what the drop chance of light crystals are. But sometimes when I spend 60 energy on these hard mode nodes, I maybe get like 2, at most 2. Like I rarely get more than 2 light crystals. Sometimes it's nothing. It's like anywhere from 0 to 2 per 60 energy, and it's not great. I literally just go down the line. Sometimes I start with the ones in chapter 2, because the ones in chapter 2 do have catalysts. I call them catalysts, these things, the essences. So health essences on 2/6 shadow, and then the damage one on 2/3. So these are the ones that I do go for first, and then I go back to the other ones. I have, I think, about 6 light crystal nodes that I can farm, and then on top of that, I do shard farm some of my existing characters, a little bit, and I'm gonna, because I still use them. So Eowyn, I am still shard farming her daily, and Eothane, I am also doing this daily. I think that's about it. I'm not shard farming anyone else other than those 2 characters. I stopped doing Mauher for the moment because I got him to 3-star. Dunhar also got him to 3-star. Stopped doing that. And so the only ones that I'm actively shard farming on the campaigns, Azhak. I'm still doing Azhak. So Azhak, Eowyn, Eothane, and that's it. Of course, on top of Lomian and Leliel in there, and then the rest of it just goes to light crystals. That's what I'm doing. As far as, you know, my store goes, I am spending it on light crystals as well. Whenever I see crystals in here and essences, I buy them because we're currently in a bit of a gold surplus as it pertains to XP. There's a huge deficit in XP versus gold, and so you very much can do this, and you won't be disadvantaged by spending your gold in the supply store. And actually, it's probably a good idea because you're going to have way more. This is like the third time. Now I don't know what oh, it's probably because I'm at a reset time. I have no idea. Anyways, looks like we're towards the end of the video anyways, but my point is that you can spend your gold in the supply store and you won't be disadvantaged. That'll be no problem. Let me know what you guys are doing in the comments down below. Are you guys preparing for elves? What are you guys doing? Are you still pushing your arena team with your gear tier? Because I'm not. I am putting the levels in, but I'm not putting the gear in anymore. I'm just kind of waiting for the next week for Arwen's Adventures, which is going to be this time next week. So let me know in the comments down below, and of course, until next video, stay safe and healthy, and I'll see you all later. Boilon signing out.